Welcome to the final episode of Quit Chasing Squirrels, starting your passion projects. I'm your host, Michelle Price, and today we're bringing it all home with episode 6, Putting It All Together, a passion project plan that sticks. As always, I'm joined by the amazing Barbara Hubbard, author of the book that inspired it all. Barbara, welcome back.
Thank you for having me. I can't wait for this discussion.
Yeah. So over the past 5 episodes, we've covered the 4 hacks: accountability, clarity, energy, and mindset. Each one's powerful on its own. But looking back on the 4 types of hacks, how do they work together as a system, not just one-time fixes? Because remember, we're trying to give people a solution.
Yeah, yeah,
This book is actually, to me, a solution. I keep
yeah.
it close. It's nice and small. It's a good size to just take
It
with you.
is. Yeah, yeah.
Um, and we want people to know that it's like a tool, a resource.
Mm,
So how do
yeah,
they fit together?
yeah. So when I initially wrote this, it was, oh, here's an idea. Here's another idea. It wasn't until the book came together that I said, oh, this all together is a system. This is a solution, right? So it can work either way. And I tell people that if you just want to flip and find a quick solution for what you have going on in your world right now, fine. But it really is intended to be an ongoing process. And the hacks in the book, the 4 categories, are really truly intended to bounce back and forth, right? One day you need something to boost your energy. The next day you might need something to help you clarify what the next steps are. And in that way, you're bouncing back and forth. You're choosing what you need in that moment, what you need in that day. It isn't a sequential, logical, try this, try this, try this. That is not what is intended. It is intended for the divergent brains who are like, oh, let's go over here now. Oh, I'm done with that. Let's move over to this
Do you
side.
remember Granimals?
Yeah, yes.
Mix and match. That's what it puts me in the
Yes,
mindset.
yeah.
It mix and match.
It is. And that really was my intention because that's what I needed. That's what my clients needed. At any given moment in any given day, it was right now, I need something for my mindset. Right now, I need something for my energy. So,
How would you string them together? Would
mhm.
you start with, am I my energy? Would you then say, okay, let me get clarity. Okay, now let's get the mindset together and then let's set some accountability. Like if you were going to
That's a
use
good
it that
question.
way.
Yeah. So I think the first thing to do, if you're going to use it in that way, which is a long-term solution, I would think about all 4 categories and think about where you need to start. Where's the one that is impacting you the most right now?
Mhm.
For most people, it is either going to start with energy or clarity.
Okay.
And that's just based on my observation of what I see most people doing. Either people are saying, I don't know how to start because I'm so tired, because I have so much going on. I'm so busy. I'm so right back to the reasons why we don't get started. Usually
Mhm.
it's something to do with I'm distracted, I'm busy, I don't know. But the next thing that comes out of their mouth is, all right, well, I have some energy to do this today, but I don't know where to start. And that's
Mm.
clarity. So being overwhelmed or taking the wrong advice from your friends or from some expert video you watched, right? You're like, I don't know where to start, right? That's clarity, right?
Okay.
So the first step is, okay, where am I at for this project, for this dream, for this thing that I'm doing? And decide. I think that once you have the energy, once you have the clarity, accountability tends to come next
Okay.
because that's when you're like, all right, I know what to do. I have the energy to do it. Now I need to set up some accountability so that I actually sit down and
Do
do
it.
it. And then the mindset comes, right? You get
Mhm.
going and then you're like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Who am
Hmm.
I to be doing this? Right? That's
Right.
the mindset stuff. So if I had to pick an order, that would be the order. But I find that people bounce around all the time. They're jump into setting up accountability and they think to
But then they don't even
themselves,
know what they're supposed to be accountable for.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And
What
so
am I
they
being
jump over,
accountable for?
right. And so then they jump back to clarity. And the way that I wrote the book too is on each page with each of the hacks, you can take notes for yourself. Which
Hmm.
one and
Hmm.
what did you use it for? So that when you forget, because it will
Because you
happen,
will.
yeah, you can flip back through and, oh, yeah, I remember this one. It worked really well. I'm going to go back and use that. So it really is this little pocket guide. The size was purposeful. I wanted people to be able to take it with
Hmm.
them. You have it in your bag, your purse, your pocket.
Right.
Yeah,
And
so
just
that you
remember to
can pull
use
it
it.
out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So it sounds like it's not about being perfect, but it's about
it's
having
not.
tools for different seasons of the journey.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But let's talk reality for a minute. Most of our
Yes.
listeners aren't sitting around with a free 40 hours a week. They're juggling a lot. So what's a realistic way for a woman with limited time to build these hacks into her life without burnout?
Yeah. That's why energy hacks come first, right?
Mm,
We have to have the energy. You don't have the time. I don't. I know that. I don't have the time. You don't have the time. You don't have the energy. In I forget which episode it was, 3 maybe, we talked about energy hacks,
mhm.
right? Go back and re-listen to that because we talked about like healthy habits, right? Those long-term things, getting enough sleep, getting out and moving, getting just long-term things. Often you've got to start there, right? We have to create some habits in our life to support us in moving towards our dreams and taking action.
Yeah,
Um,
I've started these micro habits because that feels
mhm,
easier
mhm,
for me.
mhm, mhm.
So
Yeah.
instead of me feeling like I told you I'm writing this book, instead of me feeling like I've got to sit down and be linear and sequential with it, what I do is I'll pull it out, I'll read something, or I'll have a question in my mind or a thought process, and that's what will get me to take action. It's not
Yes.
this
Yeah.
plan of a blueprint that I'm following,
Yeah.
even though my whole life that's what it feels like I've wanted. I want a
Right. Right.
blueprint.
Right.
I just
Right.
want a
You want,
blueprint.
yeah.
Can't somebody give me a
Yeah.
blueprint?
And
Nobody could give it to me because I would get tired of it.
yeah, I was gonna say they could give it to you, but you may not use it in the end. Yeah. So for all those women sitting out there where reality sets in and you're like, I don't have the time. How do I work this in? You probably are sitting there saying, well, I need a big chunk of time. I need a blueprint with the plan. And my response to you always 100% of the time is no, you don't. Just start wherever you are at, right? If you are
Because we're talking
waiting
about
for
passion
that, you're going to
projects.
keep waiting. Yeah,
We're
it's
talking about passion
passion.
projects.
Yeah,
You're passionate about this thing, but it
yeah,
keeps getting
yeah, yeah,
pushed back and
yeah,
set aside and
yeah,
shoved down and forgotten about,
yeah,
and it
yeah,
deserves to live.
yeah. So start in the middle, right? If that's where you need to start.
That's where we start everything.
Start with 5 minutes if that's what you have, the time
Hmm.
that you have. I would argue that the clarity often comes with action, right? So
Absolutely.
if you start with whatever idea you have in the moment and you write that down or you share it with somebody or how whatever starting looks like for you, then suddenly you're going to say, oh, I know what to do next. And you don't need to
Hmm.
worry about that blueprint and you don't need to worry about needing the big chunk of time because those aren't.
Yeah, I know that a lot of people's passion projects are probably starting their own business or starting a
Mhm,
side hustle.
mhm.
And one of the things I was just talking to my daughter about because she launched her massage therapy practice and she's full. She can't even take any more people.
Yeah.
And she's only been doing it 2 years. And she
Wow.
was in school and then she went and got a job at Massage Envy because she felt like she
Mm,
needed to understand the business. And then she wanted to strike out on her own. So she cut her hours back and she got a place. And then she hooked up with a friend of hers who told her about the veterans program and how the VA pays for massage. And so she's built a medical massage practice.
Nice.
And, but we were just talking that you can talk about this all day,
Yeah.
but until you take the plunge, just get
Hmm.
started,
Yeah.
you
And
know,
and
that
initially, based on what you just told me, initially it was about a 10-minute conversation with a friend, and then a phone call or maybe 10 minutes of research and an email to the Veterans Association, right? It's 10 minutes here and there, half an
exactly.
hour here and there. It isn't
Barbara, that is
this
so
massive
true.
amount of
That
time.
is so true.
Right now, eventually, she did need to say, okay, I need time to see these clients. So I have to cut back in my work, right? So
Mm-hmm.
my job so that I can do this. So
So I can
that
start
took
the
a little
business.
more time. But
Yes.
that's not how it starts. It
Mm-mm.
almost always starts with these little bits of time. And then you build some momentum and you get clarity on what's next. And suddenly you're there.
Exactly. Here she is now, almost 2.5 years later,
Mm-hmm.
and doing
Yeah.
really well.
Yeah.
And she wants to build out a whole holistic
Yeah.
practice. But it
Awesome.
started, like you said, an email, a phone call,
Yeah, yeah, just little
a
things.
connection with
And
somebody.
yeah, and to take the example of writing a book, right? You're writing a book, I've written a book. It didn't start off with me saying, I need a full day to sit down and write a whole chapter. It started off with me making a list of ideas. And I literally did that while sitting in the car waiting for my youngest to get out of school. I was sitting in the carpool line and just typing away on my phone, just in
Yeah.
the notes.
Notes is awesome.
It is. And it was, I think that particular day, I feel like I waited forever, but it was maybe a half hour. And then I thought maybe I could do this. The next step in writing a book might be talking to somebody about it. The next step may be just jotting a few more ideas, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't need that big chunk of time. You don't need the blueprint.
Right. You
Yeah.
really just need to understand that 5 minutes, you can get a lot done in 5 minutes.
Yes, you can. You can. Yeah, you really can.
You really can.
Right.
And
And
also
there's even
having,
time while you're putting the dishes away, just voice record your
yeah,
thoughts. I'm
absolutely.
not a big fan of multitasking
Yeah, I
in
mean,
general, but for some things where you're just getting ideas out, you can voice record while you're doing something else.
for a lot of us with ADHD, we have to occupy our minds
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
something that we're doing in order
Yeah.
to take in or get
Yes.
information out. I do some of my best thinking in motion.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Me too. Me too.
Yeah, I do some of
Yeah.
my best thinking in
Yeah.
motion.
Yeah.
And it's almost like I'm not even looking, I'm doing whatever I'm doing by rote.
Hmm.
And so these things
Yeah.
just bubble up.
Hmm.
And having your phone close by to jot it down helps.
It is. It
You know
does.
what's really
Yeah,
helped
it
me
is.
is self-compassion,
Yes.
to
Yeah.
have any for myself.
I didn't either. And that's something I've worked on a lot over the years, especially the
Yeah.
last couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you don't have time or the time you thought you had disappears, you need self-compassion. If you are constantly saying to yourself things like, you never make time. I never make time for myself. This must not be important to me, right? Those kinds of things.
That's what people say about these passion projects.
Yeah,
Like
they do,
some people
right?
have
Yeah,
passion projects they've been working on for 10 years.
exactly. If you
Yes,
are
I mean,
beating
literally.
yourself up, your energy level is sinking. You will be less motivated. But if you shift it just by one little word, I love the word yet. I
Right.
haven't made time for it yet.
Yet.
Suddenly
Yes. And
possibilities
you know,
open up,
your
right?
concept of restarting was
Yes,
good for me.
restarting. Yes.
Restarting. I didn't
Yeah.
fail.
Mhm.
I'm
I'm just
restarting.
restarting. And
Yes.
we have to restart again and again and again.
Over and
That's,
over.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get back up.
Um,
Yeah. Be kind. Be kind to yourself
be
about it.
kind to yourself. And just know that consistent effort beats occasional brilliance.
Yes.
As long as you're consistently taking small steps towards whatever it is and
Mhm.
helping yourself get clarity, so that you don't
Mhm.
waste your effort when you do have it,
Mhm.
right? When you do have
Yeah.
the time, you don't waste it. So just
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah. Yeah. We've touched on consistency from time to time, and I'll bring it back up again. Consistency to me does not mean you have to do something at the same time every day for the same amount of time, right?
Right.
Part of consistency is just restarting. If you keep restarting, you are consistent.
Yes.
Even if there's a lapse of 2 months, if you pick it back up again, then you are consistent. You have consistently worked on it over the years, right?
Hey, you know what? I had a project like that. I think we talked about it. It was a site called sellmorebooks.com. And I thought about it and thought about it. I mean, I must have thought about it for 5 years. And I would
Mhm.
talk about it and I would do
Yeah.
certain things about it,
Mhm.
but I
Yeah.
didn't really have the ability to organize it all the way I wanted it organized. I knew what I wanted. And for some reason, well, we know why, the ADHD, I wouldn't
Yeah.
do it, but I would talk about it
Mhm.
all the time.
Mhm.
And I would
Mhm.
take steps towards it. So I was consistent
Yeah.
with it. And when it finally happened, it was a major accomplishment.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a major
Yeah.
accomplishment. But
Yeah.
I was consistently, I thought about it all the time. I would sit down to try to do something with it. I would get distracted or get overwhelmed with what I was trying to do and just put it aside, but it was
Mhm.
always in the back of my mind,
Yeah.
always thinking
Yeah.
about it,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
When we criticize ourselves for being inconsistent, it's hard to keep going, right?
Yeah.
It
Yeah, it's almost like
reduces our
tell yourself you
motivation.
suck.
Yeah, right. Like that's not helpful.
No,
It's not helpful. And so, yeah, I'm curious, Michelle, what are some resources you've used to develop some self-compassion? Do you have people you follow or books you've read or
there's a woman named, I think, Kristen Neff.
that's mine too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where she talks
Yeah.
about compassion.
Yeah.
Brene
Yeah.
Brown, I've
Yes.
followed.
I do too.
Um,
Yeah.
isn't that crazy? You got to
And
follow somebody to help you be more
yeah.
compassionate
Yeah.
towards yourself.
It is. And I ask because I needed to know that it was okay when I embarked on that journey, right? Of, oh, I really need to work on this. I needed
Hmm.
to know that I was okay. So I want our listeners to know that we too struggled with this for a while. I
Oh
still
yeah.
do. I
I
still
still
do.
struggle with it.
Yeah. And it is helpful to find other people sharing messages and sharing
Hmm.
techniques to
Hmm.
help you be more compassionate with yourself.
Yeah,
And
it
that
does
will
help.
help you get
It really
started.
helps you reset.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah, when you get,
Yeah.
because we have a tendency to get overwhelmed and kind of like a whirling dervish in my
Mhm.
head.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that when I
Yeah.
can stop myself and say, okay, Michelle, just chill out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the end of the
Exactly.
world.
Yeah.
You'll get it done, or,
Yeah.
whatever. You'll figure it
Yeah.
out, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Um,
Kristen Neff talks about common humanity. And one of the things I
mm-hmm,
do a lot is
mm-hmm.
remind myself that I'm not alone and other people feel this way too.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
helps me. Like, oh, well, if other people are feeling this way too, maybe
yeah,
they've figured it out. I could ask them, or maybe I can take the next step. Yeah.
yeah, right. So, could you share a story or an example of someone who used all four hacks to finally start
Yeah.
or finish their project, or maybe even make a person up? What
Yeah.
would
Yeah. Yeah.
you have people that have used all four of them? Have you used
So
them?
I have for
Okay.
the book, I
Okay.
did.
So
Yeah.
tell me about it.
I have other examples too, but I will start with myself. It took me 2.5 years to write the book, right? It
Wow.
was not a quick process, and there were a lot of gaps in the middle where I just stopped for a while.
Why did you
I
stop?
I would stop because I didn't have time, or so
Okay.
I thought, right? That common excuse of
Okay.
I don't have time. I too was looking for a blueprint for a long time, looking for this big block of time that would magically appear in my schedule. And I'd even schedule it, and then something would
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Those things stopped me, but I knew I needed accountability. I knew I needed clarity. The energy piece was more around, having the energy despite all that was happening in my life,
Okay.
right? But the big one was mindset. I kept stopping because I was, who share this? I'm no expert. And a big piece of my work was to keep circling back to mindset, writing out those affirmations and meditating and journaling and gratitude. Gratitude was a huge one for me. All the mindset things that I share in the book, I've used every single one of them. And it was this bouncing back and forth between different hacks at different times
How did
needed.
you use clarity to write your book?
I made lists, wrote out, here's a list of all the things I want to say. I talked to other people to 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 hear myself talk, honestly, right? Like they're bouncing the ideas back to me, but a lot of it for me is just processing through the information verbally. And by the end of the conversation, I know the things that I've said that I are most important or where I need to start.
A lot of us are verbal processors.
We are. We are.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, the clarity in those ways. I'm not much of a mind mapper where you draw pictures or
Yeah.
that doesn't always help me, but I even tried that at one point. Like, how does this all fit together? At one point, I had a huge Venn diagram. Here's how it all fits together and the commonalities in the center.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
so I
work. And that's,
did.
you know what,
Yeah,
that's a lot of executive function work.
it is. It is. That when I did the Venn diagram, I had a conversation with another coach. So I talked it through. And then while it was fresh in my head, I sat down and I drew it all out and I
Wow.
wrote that. Yeah. I also have a great example of somebody who started her business using all of these hacks. She is an editor, a book editor.
Hmm.
She edited my book.
Oh,
That's
wow. Okay.
partly how I know her. And she had a lot of mindset stuff in there too. She felt like she needed to get up early and get started by 8, 9 a.m.,
Hmm.
even though her best time to work was in the evenings. So
Wow.
there was some mindset, listening to the experts and believing that. And
Oh,
she
yeah.
needed
Get
to,
up and eat that
right?
frog, right?
Yeah. So there was some mindset work there. There was clarity work around what her business would look like. At first, it was more of book coaching, but she loved the editing piece
Really?
and who would have thought I don't love editing, but people do.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's
she
what we
had
have
to
to remind
embrace that.
ourselves. There are things you hate to do that somebody loves to do.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And it's okay to embrace whatever it is you love to do.
Yeah.
When she started to follow that, I think she had this message that, like, why would you like that? Why would you like to sit down and edit a 500-page
Why would she?
novel? Right.
Did you ever get
Yeah.
the answer?
So I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to ask her. But what I know is this: once she decided that really was her passion, the business started to flourish, right? When she was
Mm.
chasing some things that really weren't her passion, but people told her she should do,
So I
it
was thinking
wasn't.
maybe the book coaching she thought that would give her the aspect that she really likes, which is she'd get to read the book. But probably when she
Mhm,
read the book, there was
mhm.
all these things
Yes, yeah,
that needed
she
to be
was
done, and she
noticing.
sounds
Yeah,
like a person who wants
yeah,
to get her hands dirty.
yeah, yeah.
She has
I
to
think
dig
so.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She also very much struggled with distractions. And
Mm.
yes, she has ADHD too. And so accountability was a big one for her. The tricky part for her with accountability was things like sharing it first or some of those strategies that involved other people. She didn't want to do those. So
Mm.
in the end, she created a body doubling co working time where she just offered time for people to write. They show up, she still does it. They show up, they say, here's what I'm going to work on today. They go on mute, they all work
And
on
that's how
the,
she
yeah.
dealt with her distractions.
So during that time, she got her own stuff done.
Oh, That's
Yeah.
smart.
It was a way of setting up accountability where she was helping other people, but also making
Helping
sure
herself.
she was sitting in that chair getting her own stuff done. Yeah.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah. Yeah. So she used hacks throughout the book. She says, she tells me it's always sitting on her desk, right? Out front and center. This is the kind of book. And again, I made it small. So it, yeah, sit out on your desk.
Absolutely. Mine is
Does it,
sitting right
yeah,
over there.
right. Yeah. So she pulls it out whenever she gets stuck and she looks for a hack that she's used before or one that's
Hmm.
new to her. Yeah. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
lots of fun examples
That's
of
so
people
relatable.
using it. Mm-hmm.
It's also inspiring because she got it done.
She did.
Yeah.
She did. Yeah.
It was, I look at the whole point of what we're talking about is to quit chasing squirrels and start chasing your
Mm-hmm.
passions, like really
Yeah.
start to make them more important than you have
Yeah.
because they are important.
They are. They are. And I think her biggest takeaway, if I had to guess, is that she sat on this idea for so long that would help other people. It is something that people need and some people want, and they like her because they can relate to her, right? So people show up in her life and in interesting ways. And if she hadn't pulled it all together to create this business, she wouldn't be out there helping all these people and meeting people and learning new things. And yeah, I think her biggest takeaway was more along the lines of why didn't I start sooner? Right? Why didn't I do it sooner? And again, we don't want to go down that negative
We
path,
start when we
right? We
start
start when we
and we
start, but
restart when we
yeah,
need to.
yes, yes, yeah. But I think she is just so glad she did.
Oh,
So glad
yeah.
she did.
Yeah. I look at my own journey and you probably
Mm-hmm.
look at yours too. Like, think about how much you've grown from the
Yeah,
person who used to just punch the clock 9 to 5.
yeah, yeah.
It's entrepreneurialism is definitely personal growth.
It is 100%.
You really
Yes.
can't be
Yeah.
one and not
Yeah.
grow from
I
it
agree. I
somehow.
agree. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, her story is very relatable. So let's close with some heart. What would you say to the woman listening right now who still feels scared to start?
Just start. Just start. But I'd also say, I've got your back. We've got your back. We're here to support you. Reach out. There are other people in your life. Look around. Who else in your life is there to support you? I guarantee that there are people. And if you're not sure who they are, like
Right. Because
Michelle and I are
sometimes
here to
it's
help
not the
you.
people that are closest to you. They're the
Right.
ones who are
Yeah.
trying to keep you from being hurt, right? They don't
Mm-hmm.
want you to get out and hurt yourself. That's
Yeah.
what it feels like a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
people who aren't passionate. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to imagine anybody who isn't passionate, but everybody's not passionate. Everybody doesn't have a
Yeah.
passion project.
True.
But the
Yeah.
fact that the listener that's listening to this has one they've been thinking about
Yeah.
and is scared to start. So maybe they just need to know that it's okay to be scared.
It is. It is. I'm scared all the time.
But do it anyway.
Yeah,
But do it
do it
anyway.
anyway. Do it anyway. And do it. They say do it messy. I
Yeah.
know people who don't like that, but I like it because it implies that you can start anywhere, start in the middle. You can start even though it's not perfect, right? Do
Hmm.
it messy. You can
Hmm.
start when you have 2 minutes.
To
Just do
think about it.
something. Mhm. Yeah,
You
yeah,
can think.
yeah. Anytime.
Put it
Yeah.
down on paper or you can put it in your
Mm-hmm.
notes. You can
Yeah,
give yourself notes.
yeah,
Whatever they need to do, they need to just start little, but do it.
yeah,
Please get started.
yeah. People are out there waiting for you to help them. People are out there waiting for what you have to offer. Yeah,
Yeah, you know what I like to think about is sometimes it's almost like a neuro-linguistic programming thing is how will you feel when it's done,
yeah, yeah. I like that
right?
too. I do a lot of visualization. I think it's very powerful to imagine the end result,
Mm-hmm.
but not just how it looks, how you feel
How
is
you feel.
important, right? And actually close your eyes and feel that pride, feel
Mm-hmm.
that happiness, that joy, the gratitude that comes along with it too.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yeah.
The pride, the happiness, the I did it.
And I maybe this is just me, but I like to look around at the other people who are around me in that moment. Usually it's a group of people that I'm speaking to and I imagine their faces and that aha moment where something inspired them or their face is in a reflective kind of state of oh I have something new to think about now but
I know
it
exactly what you're talking about.
helps me to think about their emotions too what they're
Yes,
feeling it's inspiring
it
yeah
is. It really is. You know what they say, fear, the acronym for fear is false evidence appearing real.
yeah I love
And
that yeah
so that whenever I would get apprehensive or scared of doing something, I would think of that. I would think of that.
mm-hmm.
Like, this isn't real.
Yeah
You
it's
know,
an illusion
you're not,
mm-hmm.
there's, there's no bear that's going to kill you.
It's not yeah yeah
Nobody's trying
there's
to kill
not
you.
yeah I have had a really hard time over the years with visibility.
Hmm.
In particular, a very worried fear of visibility.
Hmm.
And they say just do it afraid. And I cannot do it afraid. But what I
Hmm.
can do is stretch my comfort zone just a little bit. I think of it like a rubber band, right? Like
Hmm.
just stretching a little bit and do the next tiniest thing right? So at first it was, I am going to post on social media. Actually, it was less scary for me to post on LinkedIn than it
Yes.
was on my own Facebook page because my
Hmm.
own Facebook page is filled with people I know. So I did that,
Can't have them
right?
seeing you.
Exactly. And then as I realized and felt more comfortable with that, I realized that's not scary. Then I did the next thing, which, might have been on my own Facebook page. I like to think of just stretching your comfort zone just a little bit if you're feeling fearful, if you're feeling afraid of taking that next step of being visible or afraid of success and what that will
Hmm.
do to you and your life and the people in your life. It's very real. Fear is real.
Yeah, I've written about that. The thing that's real about it is our inconsistent energy is real. It's not
Yes.
fake. We're not faking it. It's not always
Mhm.
available to us when we might want it.
Yeah.
So that's always been my fear of success, that
Mm.
I'm going to get this success and I'm not going to be able to sustain it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
and for me, that is real.
It is. It is. Yeah. I think fear is both very real and it is also an illusion, right? And I would say that the fear is real, but the intensity of it, your brain would like you to think that it's this massive tiger
Yeah.
chasing you, right? That
Yeah.
part is an illusion. The intensity of it is an illusion, right?
Well, how I figured it out was just, well, be an inconsistent person then.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you had shared with me you thrive with intensity, not
I do.
consistency.
Yeah,
And I think you embrace that and you do things intensely
I
when
do.
you
While I
can.
do them.
Mhm.
But then when
Yeah.
I'm done, I'm done. What they say,
Yeah.
ADHD time is now or not now. That's literally it. I'm intense
Mhm.
right now, but
Mhm.
then not now is going to come.
And that's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay.
Mhm.
You'll move on. You'll either decide to move on to something else or you'll jump back in and restart. Yeah. And either
Exactly.
way, it's okay. Yeah.
Exactly.
So to the person out there who is feeling, no, I can't do this, or feeling hesitant in any way, just start. We've got your back. We are here to support you. There are other people here to support you.
Since you're
And
talking about that, what's your website?
it is barbhubbardcoaching.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's where they can find all your social media, all your everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything's there. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So the call to action is to, for anybody's watching, your challenge this week and beyond is this: create your own 4-hack action plan using what you've learned. One accountability tool, one energy ritual, if you want to call it that, one clarity process, and one mindset shift. And you can go back and listen to previous episodes if you don't have the book, but you could just as easily go on to Amazon and grab a copy because it's really easy to read. It's an easy read.
Yes.
And remember, you don't need to chase squirrels. You need to chase your dream. Barbara, thank you for your wisdom, your heart in this incredible series.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, listeners, this might be the final episode, but it's just the beginning of what's possible for you. Until next time, it's Michelle Price cheering you on every step of the way.